better though, because man, it's been messing with my hair. I keep losing bits of it. I find it all over the place. Man, it's not fun. You had a good week though?
Oh, I have had a good week.
Excellent. Hey.
Yeah?
We've got another friend telling us a story tonight.
Really?
Yes. Shall we see who it is?
Yeah.
Let's look.
Oh.
Hello. Wait. Hey!
Hey!
It's
Hi,
like
guys. Billy, Oggi, fancy seeing you. Thanks for coming over. How are you?
We're great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really good. I'm having a cup of tea.
Oh, nice mug.
Yeah. What have you guys been up to?
Oh, we have been going for walks and we have been playing. Hey, Billy, what else have you been doing?
Planting flowers.
Oh, yeah, you have. I've been splashing in the puddles today. There's lots of rain. Splash, splash, splash.
Have you been getting dirty?
I have. My mom was not so happy with me.
Can I tell you what I've been doing? When I was having my cup of tea, can you see what's on my cup? Can you see that? Can you see what's on there?
Oh, yeah, it's a boat and a lighthouse.
There's a boat and a lighthouse. And look what I've got here as well. Look at this. Can you see that?
Whoa! That's a great boat!
I was thinking about boats because you guys know that I've got it's not a secret anymore. I've got a new granddaughter called Molly. Have you heard about Molly?
We have. We've seen a picture. She's so cute. You just want to cuddle her and go.
She's chubby and squidgy and she's only 12 weeks old, but it's my first time at being a granddad and I need to practice at telling her stories for when she's a bit bigger.
So are you giving us a practice run?
Well, can I give you a practice run and can you tell me if I'm any good as a granddad to read a story?
Oh, yeah! We can do that. Hey, Billy.
Yeah. Is it going to be a sad story? Because last week, Karen told us a really sad story. Adam and Eve ate fruit that God told them not to eat, and they were forced to leave the garden.
Oh, that is a sad story.
Is this a happy story though?
This is a much happier story. And guess what this story is about?
Is it about a boat?
Well done. It's about a boat. How did you guess? You guys are smart. You're really smart. Can I tell you a story about a boat that can be practiced for me as a new granddad to see if I can tell a story as a granddad? Can I do that?
Yes, please. Let's just get comfy.
Okay.
I gotta get the wiggles out.
Are you guys ready? Are you comfy now?
Yeah.
Shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. So it's called a special promise. A special promise. Now it does start a little bit sad, but it does get happier as we go through. Okay, so don't get too sad. God was sad, very sad. Everywhere he looked, he saw people making bad choices, hating each other, hurting each other, making a mess of his beautiful world. It's not good, is it? Not very nice. I need to start all over again, God decided. I need to make my world clean. And that's when he talked to Noah.
Is it like when Billy gets dirty and his mommy says, put your clothes in the washing machine so we can wash it and make it clean?
Yeah, that's right. Dirty things are horrible. And you guys got dirty today, you told me, doing some gardening and being outside and jumping in puddles. And so, you know, you don't want to be dirty. You've got to get clean, haven't you? And God wanted to make the world clean because it got really messy and dirty and horrible. Yeah, so Noah, he talked to Noah, and Noah was not like the rest of the people who were bad. Noah was a good man. He was a good man, and he knew God. He talked to God. So God told him to build something. Can you guess what he told him to build?
Was it a chair?
No, it wasn't a chair. Have a guess. I'm giving you a clue.
A boat!
It was a boat. He asked him to build a boat. A boat big enough to hold, a big boat big enough to hold Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives, a pair of every animal in the whole wide world. It was a big boat.
That's a big boat!
And not only to hold all those animals and all those people and Noah, but all the food that they needed as well. Needed to be big enough to hold all of that.
Wait. Did they bring mangoes? Because mangoes are the best. I love mangoes. They do fried mangoes now, and they make it in juice. It's just delicious.
Hey, Billy? Billy?
Yeah.
Please, can Uncle Ian carry on with the story? I know you like mangoes, but the story's getting good. I need to know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Look, they had food enough to feed all of them and all the animals, and they even had mangoes.
Yeah!
How good was that? But
Oh.
look, Noah's family, can you imagine? Noah's family was surprised. They were shocked when he told them what he was going to do. His neighbours and his friends thought he was crazy. They thought it was strange of him to build a boat when they were so far away, miles and miles and miles away from the sea.
Whoa. So Noah didn't live close to the sea?
He didn't live near the sea at all. He lived miles away from the sea. And he was building a massive boat.
Nuts.
People thought he was nuts.
But he doesn't.
Mad. People thought he was as mad as mangoes.
but he listened to God, right?
He listened to God and he built a boat.
Good
But
job,
can you
Noah.
Yeah, Noah.
And when he finished the boat, can you imagine chasing and catching and cleaning up after all those animals?
It must have been stinky.
But Noah was a good man because he knew God and he did what God told him to do, even when it was really, really hard, when it was a hard thing to do. Even then, Noah did it. He was a good man.
So
And at
even
last-
if people laughed at him, he didn't mind because it was what God wanted him to do?
Yeah, sometimes people laugh at us, don't they? And sometimes people laugh at us when we do the right thing because it's not cool. But Noah didn't mind. He did the right thing because it was God who asked him to do it, even when other people thought he was crazy and probably laughed at him and told bad jokes about him. He still did it.
Good job, Noah.
Yeah, well done, Noah.
So at last, can you imagine? The boat is built and all his family and all the people are inside and the animals are in. And then God shut the door to keep them all safe.
Whoa! It must have been a really big door if you were going to have elephants and giraffe and rhinoceros. It's a good job God shut it. I don't think Noah could have.
Yeah.
It must have been a huge door because it would have to be tall enough to let the giraffes get in and wide enough to let the elephants get through. It must have been a huge door.
Yeah, big door. Good thing God closed it.
And then when he closed the door and they're all inside, guess what happened?
What?
It was like Wales. It rained for 40 days. And it rained for 40 nights. It rained harder and harder. It rained harder than Noah had ever seen it rain before.
That's not fun.
No.
Do you know, it rained so hard that the streams and the rivers and even the sea burst their banks and the shores began to flood as the water came up higher and higher and higher and got closer and closer and closer to the boat. Can you
That's a
imagine?
lot of water.
Soon every sandy beach, every rocky path, every muddy puddle, they all disappeared beneath the water. And the boat began to float and rise up on the water and sail away.
Globble, globble, globble.
It floated above the houses. It floated above the trees. It floated above the hills and above the mountains too. There was so much water, everything was covered. Even the mountains were underneath the water, but they were safe in the boat. And then one day, after all those days and weeks and months of floating around in the water, then one day it stopped and it got stuck on the top of a tall mountain. Then Noah opened a window and he looked outside, and guess what? It had stopped raining and the water was going down, but the world was far from dry. There was still lots of water everywhere. Everywhere he looked, there was water. So he did a clever thing. He got hold of one of the birds called a dove, and he let the dove go, and the dove flew away and built a nest and didn't come back. And so Noah knew that somewhere there must be dry land.
He's a smart man. Do the doves go squawk, squawk, squawk?
No, Oggi. Doves sound a bit more like this.
Oh, it's a nice gentle sound.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Billy, you're really clever. That's the right noise for a dove. That's the kind of noise a dove makes.
Good job,
I'm
Billy.
really clever.
Well done, Billy. Come out, God cried finally. Can you imagine the day when God said, come out of the boat. The world is dry. After so many days, it all dried up. The world is clean. It's like your clothes being washed. And now you and your family and all the animals and the children and all the things that you carried in, all of it, go out into the world and fill it full of life again. Make the world good again.
Line, Billy. Dun 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 da. Dun 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 da. Dun 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 da. They must have been real happy.
That's exactly what they did. Noah celebrated and went hooray. And then what did he do? Dun 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 da. Dun 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 da.
Dun 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 da. Woohoo!
And he thanked God for saving them. God was happy too. So do you know what God did?
No.
He painted the world's first rainbow in the sky. Have you ever seen a rainbow?
There's been
How?
pretty ones outside lately. Big ones, double ones, colourful ones.
What kind of colours are in a rainbow?
Red and orange
And yellow and green.
and purple.
Blue.
Yeah, blue's there.
Well done, guys. Well done. Yeah, they're beautiful. And God painted that first rainbow in the sky that day when he told Noah to come out and celebrate because he'd made the world clean again. And God made a promise. Do you know he made a promise?
He
He
did?
said this. He made a promise and he said, I will never flood the whole world again.
Yay! Wow, great promise, God.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that story, guys? Do you think Molly would like that story?
Oh, yeah! You did a great job! Molly's very lucky to have a granddad like you.
And do you think when I tell her the story that I should also include the bit about mangoes?
Oh yes, you have to include the mangoes.
Well, thanks, guys. That's been a great help to me. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks for letting us be your practice.
Yeah.
You did a really good job. Bye! Thanks for telling us a story. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Whoa, Billy! That was a great story. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I sure enjoyed that. Whoa, was a great story.
I think Uncle Ian's going to be a great storyteller for little Molly.
Yeah, she's really lucky.
Yes, she is. I wonder if he's going to sing to her too.
Yeah?
Yeah, there are lots of stories. What? There are lots of songs, I mean. There are lots of songs about that story. I bet he knows a lot of them.
Well, yeah, there are, aren't there?
Yeah, I know some. Do you know some?
Yeah?
I know one that goes like this. It goes, hey, Mr. Noah, Mr. Noah,
Dun dun.
can I please come aboard the ark of the Lord? 'Cause the rain is coming down, and I fear that I might drown. I don't remember the rest of that story, though. I mean, the song. It's a long time since I sung it. Do you know one?
Oh, yeah. It's also about Mr. Noah. Mr. Noah built the ark. The people thought it such a lot. Mr. Noah, he did so.
Please, please.
But into the ark they would not.
Oh, no.
The rain came down in torrents.
Splash, splash.
The rain came down in torrents.
Splash, splash.
The rain came down in torrents.
Splash, splash.
And only 8 were saved.
Whoa! I know another one. You can help me with this one? It goes like this. Who built the ark?
Noah, Noah.
Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Good job. I think I might know one more.
Okay.
Let me just think a little bit. Oh, I know. It goes like this. Noah built the most enormous boat
Bum bum.
that kept the birds and animals afloat.
Dun dun dun.
The Lord was good.
Good.
The Lord was strong. And Noah put his trust in him.
Woo woo.
Cool song, hey?
Yeah.
I bet there are loads more. How about... Oh, I know one about a rainbow too.
Ooh.
I think it goes like this. I gotta remember. Red and yellow and pink and blue, purple and orange and green. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Oh, I think I was supposed to do blue last so it could rhyme with two.
I like that song, Oggi.
Oh, thanks.
I can sing it too. But
Really?
I can sing it in another language.
No way! Which one?
Welsh.
Oh, please sing for me, please, please, please!
Coch a melyn a pink a gwyrdd, oren a phosphor a glas. Dyma lliwau enfys, lliwau enfys, lliwau enfys. Oh, I don't know the last one.
Hey, at least you remember to do blue last. Hey, Billy,
Yeah?
thanks for singing with me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Oggi.
And Billy,
Yeah?
I think it might be time for me to go now.
Why?
Because I've had my story, and I've done my singing, and my mommy wants me home.
Okay.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
Billy?
Yeah?
See you next week.
See you next week.
Hey, Billy?
Yeah?
Are you ready for next week's story?
I sure am.
I wonder what it'll be, and who will
Yeah.
do it. Man, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Billy?
Yeah?
Bye.
Bye, Oggi. Righty here. Let's see how I switch this camera off. Hi, everybody. It's Billy. Woo! I've got the camera all to myself because Oggi's gone. Woo! 3 cheers for Billy. Woo! 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 I like mangoes, 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 mangoes. It's the mango song. I love mangoes. No mangoes were hit during the recording of this production, but some were afterwards.